mentioned that you started politics at a very early age. That's stepping into leadership role at a very early age. Who was there anybody that like mentored, or was there any drive that pushed you into politics at that point in time? Or it was just your desire and I just want to go into politics, or you had someone who kind of brought you?
For me, getting into politics was all me. In fact, I was like the first in my family that ventured, my nuclear family now, that ventured. I recall that it actually sprung from my campus politics. That's what inspired my going into partisan politics. I started campus politics at just 17. And the positions that they would normally when you see senior elections, is usually the male that would contest for president, the male that would be first vice president. They will not consider, okay, let's allow the girls to take the second vice president. But in my own case, I say, is that first vice president go that I want to contest? And it was a contest against guys. But I stood my ground and I got it. So I actually picked my experience, the cutting of my teeth in politics actually was from the campus, from school. So when I got out there, and one of the persons that actually encouraged me, you may not know, is the president.
Okay.
Yes, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I recall 1992, somebody just invited me to come to the Primrose headquarters where we used to have our meeting, Datamatics, that's Dr. Sarumi's office at what's the street now? Akilo. So I went to that meeting because it's very close to my parents' house where I was still staying there. And I showed up at that meeting, and while we were there, I recall His Excellency came in our meeting, and as he came in, we were introducing ourselves. So as I introduced myself, I said, my name is Aderemi Apatira, Aderemi. He said, Apatira, Tibo, said, Lagos Island. He just helped me like this. Aburumi. No, that man is, forget anything anybody's saying. He's always been somebody that cares about people. Somebody that listens. Forget anything anybody is saying. And somebody that empathizes. And that was my first meeting. I'm sure if he sees this, he will remember. But that is he encouraged me. So when I now said that I'm contesting social position, he said, hey, we need more of you. We need more of you that will be bold enough to step out like this. Don't relent. So he's one of the people that encouraged me.
So you mentioned mentoring people. You mentioned that mentors have played a very big role to where you are here, and you've also decided to pass that down by mentoring many other people too. So what are some mistakes that you think people starting out in their early career are making, young people starting out? What kind of mistakes do you see many of them make, and how do you think that they can avoid those kind of mistakes or navigate those situations?
One of the first things is get it into your mind that nothing is new under the sun. This new place you think you are venturing into, somebody has been through there and has fallen. If you want your journey to be faster and shorter, find out somebody that has passed through there and understudy the person. So that the places where you fail, you won't fall. That means you are running faster and you won't sustain injury. See, young people these days, they have a lot to learn. And somebody was talking, I was watching a video, and I learned a lot from that video. The man is actually like my age range, in his 50s, and he was saying, there's something that we should understand. In those days, I don't know for now, it's not that they'll say, what course did you study? When they come and ask you, they'll ask you, what is your discipline? That the higher institution is only to discipline you, to keep you in a particular discipline. It's not to form what your life will be. I read accountancy, but I've mentored graduates of communication in communication because my passion is there. I was a voracious learner. I was picking materials from there. I researched from everywhere. So by the time I even joined APCON and joined NIPR, I was already full. So first, learn. Find facts. Research. Look for people who have been through that path. Look for advice. Look for learnings. And be humble. Honestly, most young people are not. I'm sorry. More humble. They are not. I have them in my house, and I know how to treat their folk. They are not. They are not. They feel that because they have tech at the tip of their hands, they know better than you. They feel that they have access to more information than you. But what they don't get is that they can't cover the years you have covered.
The experience you've had.
So, my advice is look for learnings. Look for somebody to mentor you. One of my mentees is leading an international NGO as the head of communication. When I saw the opportunity and I said, you must apply for it, the first time he applied, they didn't give him the job. After they've even done all the stages of interview. After a year, they discovered that what they hired for that position because of one or two influences was a PO. You know what PO is? Previously undiscovered recruitment error. So they had to let her go and re-advertise the position. This time they gave him. And this time they had to ask them to increase the salary that they
offered initially.
And even through all the tests that they sent some tests, they give him, I stood with him. I made some suggestions which actually upped his ante and helped him to get a job. But what I'm saying is, a lot of things he's now taking there as value. There are things he learned from working with me. Sometimes, being under a mentor, you may not even be paid. You may not get paid. Just go and gather that experience. That was the advice I gave my son. When he was to do his NYC, at that time he was just finishing his first degree in Ukraine. He studied aerospace engineering. And that time you go online to select the state you want to go. Even with all his selection, they saw his course. They posted him to Cross River. When he finished camp, where are you posting me to? They said they don't even know. Because there's no hangar. There's aircraft hangar in Calabar that they are repairing or maintaining aircraft. Even their university, there's no engineering course I can come and lecture. I just told him, come back to Lagos. I was in Lagos. And I took him to Ikeja, cantonment, to where they have the Air Force. Took him to AVM Security Space, Aibon, who was then the chief of defense information communication. That's My son wants to serve, oh, this, that. I said, we don't actually pay coppers here, oh, but you will get the best of the experience. So after I got into one side, don't look at money, I'll be giving you money to transport. And so he spent his service year there. The good thing is that while he was still serving, the bilateral European Agreement scholarship for Hungary came out. Ordinarily, if you don't show your NYSC certificate, they can't even register, not talk of take exam. But he got a recommendation letter from Air Force and took them, and they allowed him. In fact, it was a month to the end of his NYSC when he jet out of the country for his masters. He didn't even finish NYSC. He finished remotely. So, what am I trying to say? Don't look at the money. Oftentimes, young people, what's the need for me? Hey, how much are you going to pay me? No. Sometimes, for you to actually arrive where you ought to be able to even command that money, you need to bend a bit and don't look at the money. And I apply that even with getting clients. Recently, a junior person to me who works with, some international NGOs called me in December that would I be available in January to train in a farm in Kwali. I said, why not? That there's a farm business. He didn't even tell me that it's a big business that is already getting funding from international organizations. That they are doing retreats in January, or they have like a training facility in their farm there. And that they want somebody that can speak on communicating through change. So I said, why not? That's what I love to do. So I agreed. A day to going to the farm, he called me and said, you are going to deliver 2 sessions. I said, for how much? You are practically not giving me anything. But okay, no problems. I'd love to do that. So I had to prepare a second paper on change management from the strategic point of view. So I went, spent 3 days in that farm, and I did that. And from what I was able to, I wasn't looking at the money. For me, it was an opening. And as I'm talking to you, I just finished 2 months of setting up their entire communication system, their strategy, because they need a lot of visibility. And as I was finishing that, in fact, I'm submitting my final documents this week and invoice. Next week at the latest, supposed to end by the end of this month. They are asking me, they are the ones that are saying that we can't let you go like that. We don't even have the leg to stand yet. They have given me a 12-month extension to manage the entire communication. My billing for the 2 months of setting up their structure was like $1 million monthly. But now I tell them, I'm coming with my entire team. So I'm asking for more. And they can't even fault it. So I'm telling you to say that, start. Don't look at money first. Don't look at what's in it for me first. Start. There's a lot in it. In fact, most of the time, it looks like there's nothing until you get it. That's my advice.
Okay, that's quite deep. As someone, you're a mentor, you're a leader. As someone who has had to manage so many people, had to lead, was there any moments that really tested your leadership as a person?
Oh, I had. And I had to adjust my style. I won't say I changed, but I had to adjust my style. I went into leadership with the style of raising people like they are my brother, sister, family. Some people that does not work with them and put you in trouble. Okay. And I had that experience. So I had to figure out how to not get all too personal people. Yeah. At the same time, not treat them like machineries. So I had to find a balance. And that's why for me, I don't call them human capital or human resources. I call them something more. So they are not just resources. They are, so what we do now is more of people management than HR management.
Okay.
So I had to find a balance. Not just, go all out personal, bringing a human face to everything, getting down to everybody's level at every time. Yes, but there must be a balance. You must know when to wield both the carrot and the stick and ensure that there is a balance. So that was one very tough moment for me, but I navigated it. It put me in some trouble. I got out of it, and I'm the better for it.